The narrator's family had owned a 6-acre stretch of land for generations, resisting developers and maintaining their peaceful property. However, over time, the surrounding area was transformed into an HOA-controlled community, bringing strict rules and uniformity. Then came Karen, an overbearing and power-hungry woman who quickly became the self-appointed HOA president. She harassed the narrator about their unkempt land, falsely claimed it fell under HOA jurisdiction, and tried to pressure them into compliance. Despite being shut down, the image depicts a large outdoor wedding ceremony with a bride and groom walking down an aisle towards an altar in front of a large mansion. The setting is surrounded by lush greenery and trees. A massive crowd of attendees, dressed in formal attire, is seated and standing on both sides of the aisle, forming a symmetrical and vibrant arrangement. The bride is wearing a white gown with a long train, and the groom is in a formal suit. Here's the full prompt based on the breakdown. An outdoor wedding ceremony taking place on a grand lawn in front of an elegant, large mansion. The bride, in a stunning white gown with a long train, and the groom, in a formal suit, are walking down a central aisle lined with flowers. The aisle is surrounded by a massive crowd of guests dressed in formal attire, seated and standing symmetrically on either side. The setting features lush green grass, tall trees in the background, and a clear sky, emphasizing the grandeur and beauty of the event. The overall atmosphere is festive, elegant, and vibrant. Continued spying, taking pictures, and plotting her next move, the narrator and their family planned a much-needed trip to Lake Tahoe, enjoying its breathtaking scenery, hiking trails, and peaceful retreat. Before leaving, they arranged for Jake, a trustworthy college student, to watch over the property. However, Karen manipulated and bribed Jake with $3,500, convincing him to let her use the land for a small gathering. What Jake didn't realize was that Karen was actually planning a full-scale wedding with over 250 guests, music, alcohol, fireworks, and an unauthorized party inside the narrator's house. Returning from their trip, the narrator was horrified to find their land trashed, fences broken, tire tracks in the yard, garbage everywhere, and their home violated. Inside, strangers had used their furniture, kitchen, and bedrooms, leaving behind stains, alcohol spills, cigarette butts, and ruined carpets. Jake, when confronted, confessed everything. Karen had lied, pressured, and paid him off, and he had regretted it once things spiraled out of control. But the narrator wasn't just going to let it go. They called the police. Karen, arrogant as ever, dismissed the complaints and even claimed the land belonged to the HOA. However, security footage, property records, and Jake's testimony exposed the truth. Worse, during the investigation, lawyers uncovered financial fraud. Karen had been embezzling HOA funds for years. She was hit with multiple criminal charges: trespassing, property damage, forgery, and fraud. The court ordered her to pay full restitution, banned her from holding any HOA positions, and she now faced jail time for the embezzlement. With Karen's reign of terror over, the narrator and their family decided to escape their stressful ordeal with a trip to Madagascar, a dream vacation filled with beaches, rainforests, and unique wildlife. However, upon arrival, things went terribly wrong. Their tour guide never showed up, leaving them stranded in a foreign country in the middle of the night, attracting suspicious attention from locals. What was supposed to be a peaceful getaway was turning into yet another nightmare. The narrator and their family arrived in Madagascar expecting a peaceful vacation, but things quickly went wrong. Their tour guide never showed up, and they were left stranded at the airport late at night. With no immediate transportation or clear direction, they began attracting unwanted attention from locals who seemed to be sizing them up. Feeling vulnerable and unsure of who to trust, they decided to stay put and avoid unnecessary risks. After hours of waiting, a man claiming to be a driver approached them, offering a ride to their hotel. His story seemed sketchy, and his aggressive insistence raised red flags. Trusting their instincts, they refused and walked away. Later, they discovered that tourists in similar situations had been kidnapped or scammed by fake drivers. Eventually, they found a verified taxi service through airport staff and safely reached their hotel. Despite the rocky start, Madagascar's beauty started to shine through. The family enjoyed lush rainforests, exotic wildlife, and pristine beaches. However, their relaxation was cut short when they overheard local whispers about increased crime targeting foreigners. There had been a rise in kidnappings and robberies, especially involving tourists who wandered off alone or trusted the wrong people. Their hotel manager strongly advised them to stay within secured areas and be extra cautious. One night, while asleep in their hotel, they were awakened by strange noises. Someone was trying to break into their room. Heart pounding, they quickly locked the doors, secured the windows, and called the front desk. Security arrived just in time, scaring off an attempted burglar who had been targeting tourist rooms. Shaken but unharmed, they doubled down on security precautions, always traveling in groups and keeping valuables locked away. Despite the terrifying encounters, the family managed to enjoy some of Madagascar's wonders while staying extra vigilant. Their trip ended without further incidents, and they returned home safely. However, the stress from both the HOA disaster and the Madagascar ordeal left them emotionally exhausted. The narrator realized how easily trust can be broken, whether by a neighbor like Karen or by the dangers of blindly trusting strangers in a foreign country.